everybody, my name is Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning into the Evisceradio channel, where I sit down with bands who I'm into and we talk about everything from what's good in life, what's good in music, and everything in between. It is genuine content with genuine bands, sitting down having a genuine good time, and I hope you guys stick around because it's gonna be a dope one. One of the reasons why Evisceradio exists is so I can give a platform for bands who might not have much of a following. I am a big underground guy, and I will go out of my way to find bands who are kind of unknown in the death metal, black metal, extreme metal world, get them on this show, and let them know that they should be known. There's a reason why the live show exists. There's a reason why the YouTube channel exists. And today is a good example of why this show exists. Exhibit A, Mutilated by Zombies. A death metal outfit from Dubuque, Iowa, and they are a top shelf 5-star prime example of what amazing groovy death metal should be like. If you've never heard of these guys, you got to stop what you're doing right now, including watching this video. Go check their shit out, then come right back and watch the video. There's not that much information out there in terms of who Mutilated by Zombies are or what they're about. They do have the band camps, they do have their Instagrams and social medias and everything, which, by the way, like, follow, subscribe, notification bell, all of their stuff, totally going to be worth it. But there just wasn't much room for preparation for this interview, so that left a really cool sort of situation where I had no means to fall back on in terms of asking questions. I could dive in as an absolute fan of theirs and ask them some genuine from the heart questions concerning who they are, what the music's about, what they do, and all that good stuff. Because of that, I was really looking forward to this interview. I think it's going to be a nice off-the-cuff, no holes barred, not that there's any kind of barring to be held, type of interview where I get to sit down and just ask some genuine questions. So without further ado, Mutilated by Zombies. Yes! Awesome. Fucking awesome. Great. Perfect. I'm glad to have you guys on board. I've been looking forward to sitting down for you guys for like forever.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. What's good?
Oh, not too much. Just
hanging out, drinking some coffee.
Yep. Getting the day started.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Sundays equals productivity for most of us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time to get all this shit set up around me with the lights and everything like that. It's kind of an early bird sort of deal. And Sundays are really the only day of the week where I can kind of bang this stuff out. So I appreciate you guys offering a Sunday up.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So what's cracking, man? Everything good in the Zombies camp?
Yeah, we're doing well, man. We're doing well.
Yeah, we just got finished recording a new album, so we'll be busy working on that. So
nice. You guys got a new album coming out? How long is this? You guys been starting that through COVID? I think I remember seeing on social media.
We kind of started writing it actually, I mean, in like 2018, and then when all that stuff happened, we ended up on a hiatus, and then
sure,
we kind of started getting it back together, and we decided to do it, and now we're all back on board and ready to rock. So
good to hear, man. I fucking love it. Scripts is a great album.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You in 2018, you guys were working on new material for this. Was that what I heard?
Yeah, that's when we kind of started, you know.
Yeah, we had a few songs written already, and then, you know, with the whole pandemic thing, all that happened, and then it's, you know, everything kind of got pushed off for a while, and, you know, when we kind of got back going again, I think we ended up doing maybe three more to add to that, and then that's what became the album.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys didn't, like, when COVID hit, you didn't like revise or go back and change any of your stuff. It was just sort of more continue on as of normal. You know what I mean? And yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I wish I could say the same. I have my own kind of stuff that I'm working on too. And when COVID hit, I fucking went right back to the drawing board and couldn't stop tinkering with my old shit. And then you fall on that hamster wheel of like everything's 95%. Yeah. And you just keep dicking around with it.
Yeah, you definitely can fall down a rabbit hole with that stuff.
Oh, I'm the worst at it. My last interview, Frank from Cryptosis, we got on this actual conversation of like how to escape getting in and out of that hamster wheel, like being too attached to the stuff that you write. And so I'm using some of his exercises that he recommended to me to be able to kind of bust out of that groove. And so far it's been working. I'm only a couple weeks into this new practice, but like it's sort of refreshing to keep like recycling the same shit over and over again out of your head.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. So this new album that's coming out, whenever that may be, it's definitely going to be a much anticipated follow-up to Scripts of Anguish. That album / you guys were almost a pre-COVID sort of discovery for me.
Okay,
And then when COVID had hit, yours was pretty much on the top of the heap as things started to pile up in terms of you buying new music and figuring out how I'm going to navigate these lockdown waters, and it's a 5-year-old album, 4 or 5-year-old album, and it still is on regular repeat like all the fucking time, especially at the gym. And I hinted at this, I think, on Instagram a little while ago, but like, it's your guys is fucking, so you guys know where the pocket is. And on Scripts of Anguish, man, like that is like an excellent example of guys you just know where to find that groove. And when anyone ever asks me about stuff that really hooks the hooks in and sinks the teeth in and stuff like that album and you guys are like at the top of the recommendation list. And by the way, congratulations and thank you so much for providing me with like awesome music.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But I wanted to ask, like, it's such a unique spin on like grooves and hooks. Like there's no real comparison. Some guys, other bands like Organectomy can really hammer that stuff out and they have their own thing going on in the same vein that you guys do. And like, it's again, to even bring the two names together isn't really fair because your guys' groove and sound is just so unique to me. Like how did you guys wind up refining something that interesting to listen to?
Honestly, like I think we all just build off of each other, we've been playing music together for 12 or 13 years.
Oh, so, shit, no way.
Yeah, we all, we'll bring a riff to the table and then everybody kind of feeds off of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a collective effort for sure. Everybody brings in, everybody comes in with their own. We all have similar influences, but yet at the same time, we each kind of have our own separate ones. And then we bring all that together. And I mean, I don't know, man. It just kind of happens. It's just kind of the way that we become accustomed to writing and working together.
Yeah, absolutely.
We kind of definitely, in a sense, locked down kind of our own sound, you know what I mean? Like our own way of writing and piecing together songs and things like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It definitely shows. I had no idea you guys were like together for as long as you were. Were you guys in any bands together previous to Zombies or
together?
I'm sorry,
not together.
Not together. Okay.
But I played in a previous band. I was in a band in my teens. We were called Strict 9, and we were, just a local band, but we did some cool stuff. We opened up for some bigger bands. We opened up for Morbid Angel once, and that's what really got me into death metal. That was like my turning point. I was like 16 years old, and I just discovered Morbid Angel because my band was playing with them.
No shit. That's a fucking hell of a way to find out about them.
Yeah, it was insane, man. And ever since I discovered death metal, that's where it's at for me. Like, it's my favorite of all time. So
it is my favorite too. I'm a motherfucking death metal guy, man. I started off on thrash. Like I was a Megadeth boy back in the day.
Okay.
The first album I ever received was a Peace Cells at like 8 years old for Christmas because the cover was red and it had a skeleton on it, and fucking and that shit stuck. And when I was going through some black metal shit in my teens, and I had heard of Cannibal Corpse and so on, and I would listen to it, and my fucking brain wasn't ready for that kind of stuff until about the time in my mid-20s when Decapitated dropped Carnivals Forever, which blew my fucking balls off. And then I went back to Cannibal Corpse, and then it all really started to click. And then ever since then, it's been off to the races. And like after that, I just started getting deeper into the subgenres, and then the exploration of like what couldn't be heard, and kind of figuring out what actually is an underground versus a mainstream in that regard. And the search is like never ending. It is a bottomless pit of fucking chasing and money, especially money. Holy fuck. Yeah. So your Morbid Angel was your first forte into death metal. They came through Dubuque. You guys what is the name of your town?
Dubuque, Iowa. Yeah. But it was actually East Dubuque, Illinois, the state right next door to us.
Right across the river.
So, but yeah, back in the day, they had an arena over there where they were getting some bigger acts and stuff. And at the time, my band was doing, we're doing pretty good. We're playing shows all the time. So they're like, let's get a local on, and they can, sell tickets and shit like that. So that's how we got hooked up in that. And we did a ton of shows over there. We opened up for like Mushroom Head.
Oh, fuck yeah, no way.
Kitty. There's just been a handful of them that we did. Devil Driver was another cool one.
Wow.
So, but yeah, and that place is gone now. So now we don't get those kind of shows around here anymore. We gotta travel to go to a bigger, death metal show. So
like you guys are close to Chicago or something, aren't you?
Yeah, a couple hours.
Yeah, Chicago is probably close to 3.5-ish hours away from us.
Oh yeah, is that the closest place where the big wigs show up, or is there another?
Chicago,
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, okay.
And then Des Moines.
Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa too, but that's like 5 hours away from us, almost like 4.5 or something. So
I mean,
yeah.
when it comes down to some of like the big name acts, as far as Iowa goes, Iowa's kind of just a pass through state for most big tours.
I see.
We don't get a lot of stuff. So yeah, I mean, with Milwaukee and Chicago being so close, that's kind of like the main avenues for those guys.
Okay, yeah, all right. I didn't really know that. I was curious as to like the city that you guys are from, Dubuque. It reminds me, like I didn't look into like what your place actually is about in terms of like exports and whatever the case may be, but like a population is about the same as the city that I came from in the East Coast, Canada, with about like 100,000 or something like that. And in terms of like the scene that's down there, there's normally a number of like, I guess like a set crew who sort of float in between bands to like kind of keep that scene alive. I had an interview a few months back with a band from Sudbury, Ontario called Fractal Generator, and theirs is the similar setup due to the population and how kind of remote and isolated, I suppose it is. It's like a through place. Is your guys' place sort of similar in that regard? Like I have no idea what the scene is. I kind of used you guys as a branching point. I sort of came up short. So
sure,
it is kind of like that. I think anymore there's, I guess say 10 years ago, there were like actual bands here were a little more prevalent. Like I don't really see a lot of new actual bands that come out around here anymore. But within like 10 years ago, there was a core group of a lot of the same guys that would just kind of intermingle into different projects here and there. And sometimes they'd stick for a while, and then sometimes they'd fade away after a year and then become something else with a couple different guys from another band. And,
yeah, that sounds familiar.
So I think in reality, as far as Dubuque bands go in general, we're probably the longest tenured. That's never broken up, never added members, never deleted members.
I would agree with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what makes you guys last as long as you do, other than, it's got to have something to do with like you guys knowing for each other as long as you have, and just having like a great seamless sort of musicianship between each other, camaraderie. Like you seem like super friendly guys, so fucking, it must be working out very well for you.
Yeah, we get along well. We get along together really well. Like you said, we've known each other for a long time. Josh and I have known each other since high school.
Oh, right on. Yeah, old school links.
Greg came in, about 2007?
No, I'd say 2010 or
2000.
Something like that. Yeah. Greg's a little younger than us.
Greg's a little younger than
so he actually used to play drums in a local thrash metal band. And that's kind of how we found him. That band was kind of on a hiatus, and we just reached out to the guy, got his contacts, and we're like, hey, man, you interested in some death metal? Yeah, and it's just been ever since, it's like a brotherhood. So
yeah, good. Like that's such a important core quality. I see there's a whole bunch of bands out here who I'm lining up for interviews who I'm hoping is sort of the same sort of, chemical makeup in that sense, where everything's just sort of working out together. I'm I'm brand new to this city. I'm about a year in, actually, a few weeks ago, I guess. Yeah. And so aside from working my ass off, it leaves just enough time for me to sort of spread my wings and like reach out and like bring bands in and find out just sort of what makes them click, which is like a super interesting component to how I like to digest the music. And knowing that you guys get along so well and have like lasted as long as you have with the same like lineup, and like also in your developing years, like high school, man, that's some fucking young shit. To be able to like keep it as cohesive as it is through an awesome medium like music, death metal music, your music, is something that's like super special. And I had no idea that was the case. So like instantly your guys' fucking stuff just gets another gold star. Like that's awesome. Yeah. Is there also in saying that, that's like an interesting sort of segue I can go to future interviews too. So thanks for a little bit of boning up on my shit. Yeah, homework. Is there speaking of cohesiveness and having worked on stuff for a long ass time in relation to your guys' new album, whereabouts are you in that process? Is stuff ready? You guys doing demos? Is there any, can you even talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recorded it, pretty much everybody recorded it respectively. I recorded the guitars at my house, Jason recorded bass here at his, and Greg recorded the drums at his house. And then we have everything recorded right now. So what I did is I went in and I made like reference mix downs for the engineer who's going to actually be mixing and mastering. Okay. That way he can kind of listen to what we have in our heads and kind of stay true to that. But he'll be able to do it a lot better than I could. So
that's why they're engineers.
Yep. So we're done with it though. I mean, the album is recorded. It's all going to be post-production from here on out, and, you know, figuring out things like artwork and, you know, a bunch of just tying up loose ends and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. I fucking can't wait to listen to it, man.
Thank you.
Speaking of artwork, Scripts of Anguish, is that hand drawn?
Yes.
Yeah.
No fucking way. That is really, really good. That I was listening to the album yesterday, and I was going through the lyrics, and then I didn't really piece this together, and I have no idea if I'm on track at all. I could be talking shit and be way off the mark here, but the title, Scripts of Anguish, the dude on the cover looking like he's not having a time writing scripts, probably in anguish. Each one of those songs in the lyrics from them literally read out as the scripts of someone in anguish, and fucking I get this mental imagery of like a madman just penning out just I'm actually losing my train of thought on that one, where it's like he's just penning out fucking like on end scenarios and reflecting on stuff or looking forward to just bad, dismal shit. And am I getting close to it being sort of like a concept album of sorts, like the musings of someone like a madman?
You know, I don't think it started out that way, but it certainly kind of ended that way. You know what I mean? So like it wasn't intentional, but you know, after, especially like you mentioned with the artwork, after we got that artwork, it kind of tied everything together. And the artist who did that artwork, his name's Carl Dahmer. You should check him out.
Yeah, great work.
He has some amazing stuff. He does quite a few bands and artwork for different, you know, t-shirts and shit. He's amazing. Check him out on Instagram, Carl Dahmer.
I'll post it in the description when I load up the interview and stuff.
Okay.
Is he working on your guys' art for the next one?
You know, we haven't reached out to anybody yet really about art, but he's done, I think, 2 for us already.
Yeah, he did our Decimation Sentence EP, and then he did Scripts of Anguish.
So he's definitely, you know, we really enjoy working with him, and he's a great guy. We might hit him up, but we're just not that far along in the process yet. Haven't really put much thought into it. So
yeah, for sure. One step at a time. Like you guys are putting some stuff out. Let put the spit shine on the mixes and stuff, and like it'll work out as it should.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that about the artwork, where like it sort of steered it in a direction you didn't really know it was going to go. Sometimes those cool surprises are really awesome to have fall on your plate. I on some of the stuff that I write, which is all acoustic stuff, it's a 180 from death metal, and I would but I do it all remotely. I do the guitars up, I send it out to a bass player who's across the country at the moment, and he'll send me some stuff back, and what he has laid out is like, it just changes everything. It changes the mood. It changes all of it. And then like I have a keyboardist too who I send this stuff out to, and then they send it back, and like all of a sudden it's this thing that I had never ever had the shape it did beforehand in my head of having to go out and it makes for something very special and unexpected. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so cool when it works out like that.
I fucking love leaving shit to chance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Was there do you when you guys are writing all your stuff out, it doesn't sound like to me off of scripts that you leave too much to change. Like your guys' music, I guess that's the same thing for death metal now that I think about it, but like your guys' songwriting from beginning to end is pretty much just show. Is there any room for experimentation through the recording process? Do you guys just know what's up when the microphones are hot?
Usually we have everything ready.
Yeah, normally before we go into the recording process, we have everything refined already to where this is how we're going to do it, and we're sticking to that. You know, once we hit record and we start going, everything pretty much is already solidified. We
Perfect.
do, prior to that, we do, experiment with different things, and we'll change parts, move parts around, adjust things and stuff. But yeah, that's all definitely way prior to recording. Once we start recording, like that's that we keep everything the same.
Awesome. Yeah, it's nice to be sure about your stuff when it's going in. I don't have that luxury. I second guess like a motherfucker, man.
Right. Oh yeah, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Especially on your own work,
Oh, like you got to be able to detach yourself or save yourself from getting too attached to the stuff that you work on. Like my hardest thing again is being able to get away from that 95% sort of thing. Like I'll typically spin that wheel, as I said earlier, and just keep on fucking about with the shit to the point where it drives me crazy. So I'm gonna have to take a page out of your guys' book and knowing, things are just so until I send it off to whoever to record it back, and then I'll deal with the new variables as they come.
There you go.
Yeah, I think the more that it's out of my hands, the I guess healthier it would be at this point.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta have a good balance of that. You know what I mean? Like when I get too caught up in something, I'll take a step back and I'll still play guitar, but I might learn like a rock song from the 60s.
Oh, dope.
You know what I mean? And then I'll go back in with a new kind of refreshed mind, and keep working from there. And that seems to help me a lot too. So.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of stepping back and getting refreshed, and Dubuque being so, I guess, insulated from all your neighboring bigger cities and stuff like that, there must be places where you guys can go to like unplug or disconnect or get regrounded to sort of, get away from whatever your day to day is, whether it's a break from your band or fucking from your jobs or whatever the case is. Like, do you guys finding yourself not pulling the plug but being like, I'll be back in a week? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We do like, there's tons of fun stuff to do, but I must admit, I'm kind of a hermit. I just kind of stay at home.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. I don't really do a whole lot. Every now and then, maybe I'll go to, sadly enough, I'll be the first to admit I don't go to many concerts anymore.
Dude.
And a lot of the concerts that I want to go to, like I said, they're 4 hours, 5 hours away and stuff. And, with work and then band stuff and things like that, I don't really find a lot of time to do that. But I'm kind of a hermit myself. I work and I come home.
Yeah.
Work on here, just play around a little bit on my own, and we meet up at least once a week and really put the hammer down, and whether it's practice or working on album stuff, anything like that. Like, so we do that every week. But yeah, other than that, most of the week it's just work.
Yeah, it never ends, does it?
Never ends.
We gotta keep the lights on here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm a creature of habit. I like my routine too. I'm up, I go to work, I come home, I do some music stuff, whether it's mine or the Evisceradio stuff, and then I go to bed. Yeah. And then the calendar starts to lick right by, and I kind of take solace in that. it gives me a feeling of progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. One of the reasons though, you had mentioned that you don't really do the concerts and stuff anymore. And for the longest time, like I never did either, coming from Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is far eastern Canada. Like that is a nobody stops here zone for shows, right? That nobody stops there for shows at all. And I used to work in the live entertainment business, setting up all the big concerts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like most of my career has been live entertainment with like musical theater and setting up shows and stuff like that. And for as much live shit that I've seen, I've never been able to or had the means to go see fucking anybody that I wanted to see on stage. Aside from like a few of the locals that would come around, and even that started to drop off. So when I decided to up and come to Toronto, where everybody goes, I once work started to settle down with my initial arrival, like I hit all the shows and said, like, I never used to watch all the shows, but I'm in Toronto and now I'm gonna. And so I blasted out about 4 or 5 within the span of like 3 or 4 weeks during work weeks and stuff like that. And these weren't weekend shows. These were like during the day or during the evening shows. And I get up at 3 a.m. to go to work. And I soon found out that like I'm on the same page. Like I just don't really go to that many shows. Like if someone crazy comes by, I'll do that. Or like, I mean, if I'm going to meet up with someone who's going to be on the show, I'll do that. But I kind of came to realize that, like, you know what, maybe it's not so much my thing anymore. I much prefer to come home and like do my own projects and do my own stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Was there any kind of like, how did you find out actually that you knew that was for you? Like, I found that hard to admit because I wanted to go do the shows. And then I found out, I was like, fuck. Well,
I think for me, it's almost more. It's kind of a time thing, you know, between working all day and then, you know, when you factor in, say, like my time off, my PTO from work. Most over the last like 10 years, all of mine went for us to play shows.
Yeah.
So that really didn't give me any extra time to, you know, say take a day off work during the week. You know, like you said, the bigger shows that we would have around here would be like on a weekday night. You know, it's like a Tuesday night. It's like, well, shit, I got to get up early the next morning and go to work. I can't travel 4 hours and then one way and then come back after a late night of the show on a Tuesday. So, you know, I just kind of figured, you know, well, I can't really do that anymore and then still have time to do all the stuff that I myself want to do with, you know, my own music and, you know, on top of work and everything else, just life in general.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. I came to that conclusion too. Like you like it's there are certain things you really need to put time aside for, and Mutilated by Zombies is one of them. But like going out and enjoying, well, I shouldn't say enjoying is the wrong word. Going out and checking out someone who you would like to see on a Tuesday where they open at 10. And then you got to get up super early. Man, that sucks. I had tickets to see Behemoth twice in my life, and I went to the show and bailed before they fucking got in because I just couldn't. Like, I just couldn't do it. Like, it tears me up. But like, I had to admit to myself too, like, you know, who's the one that's putting themselves out here? They are for our entertainment. But I also got shit I got to do, and
you got your own life that you got to live too, man. You can't stress yourself out.
And I'm the same way, honestly. I've used all my time off, you know, for over the years that we've been doing this. All my time off of work has been for if we were playing a show. So that really does limit, you know, going out to just watch a show for fun. So it's like reserving all of it just for the band. Yeah.
That's the way to do it though, man. It's about your passion projects.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff means like everything to you guys. Like finding the time to put that stuff together probably comes more naturally than searching out for stuff, because where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of, you know, we've kind of set ourselves up over the years to where we have kind of a schedule. We have a normal routine of, you know, not only just when we meet up, but we'll discuss, well, okay, we're meeting up this following week. What's kind of on the docket, you know, what are we going to do? We're going to talk about, you know, whether it's song titles, or we're going to write riffs, or we're going to write lyrics, or we're going to work on, you know, just any recording thing, you know, like we kind of have it set kind of predetermined before a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
Where we know what we're getting ourselves into for the following time we meet up. So it's kind of everything's kind of on a schedule.
That's the way to do it. Again, creatures of habit, man.
Yeah, we've just become so accustomed to doing it that way, and I think that's basically the same way we've been doing it for the last almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Right on. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here, man. I find the time for the things that I must do very naturally outside of work and paying the bills and stuff. It's a very healthy way of looking about that kind of stuff, and I'm glad you guys are on the same page with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to do some homework on you guys before we sat down here today, and there's not much out there for in terms of like interviews or videos or anything like that, which makes it that much more better. So like all my questions have no sort of like there's no background to them. Like I can actually sincerely ask you some shit about like I have been like routine and fucking the groove and all that kind of stuff. One thing I did find though was on an interview from way back concerning the name Mutilated by Zombies, and whoever was interviewing you guys had said that you guys must be a fan of like zombie movies and shit, and then whoever was on the interview was just like, no, we actually just sort of picked the band name because it stuck out like crazy. And I will admit I did buy Scripts of Anguish not listening to it. I bought it because the name.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I bought it because I bought it because of the name. And you guys literally just fell on the name because of that? Is that for fucking real?
Well, yeah. So when the idea of Mutilated first, it was me and my friend Eric, who's no longer in the band anymore, but it was just him and I, and we started writing riffs with like a drum machine, you know. Mm-hmm. And he actually came up with the name, and his reasoning was, I just want something ridiculous, something that is going to stick out like a sore thumb, something that people are going to be like, what the hell is that? You know? And it's worked, I think. So, but yeah, and then he ended up leaving, you know, when we were jamming with Jason. And then once we met Greg, he kind of had other stuff going in his life, and he left, and he's back making metal now, though. He's got his own project, which is called Sulfur and Rot. And I like that name too. So the guy's, he's pretty good at coming up with, you know, names, I guess, for brutal projects.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Sulfur and Rot. Is there anything that they have any Instagrams or social media that I could link them to?
Yeah, he just put out he's got 2 songs out that he just put out like 2 weeks ago. So you can find that stuff on like YouTube, and he's got a Facebook page and stuff as well.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'll definitely check those guys out. If they're affiliated with you guys, I will for sure take a look.
Yeah. I wrote the drums for him, and I play bass on his songs. So it's not going to be a live band. He's got a big family at home and, you know, full-time job. So he's just trying to create and put it out into the world.
Sure. Oh yeah, I understand. You said you wrote the drums, like programming superior drummer type stuff, or?
Correct. Exactly. Yep. I use Get Good drums.
Oh, I never heard of those.
Yeah. It's just a cheaper version of like Superior, you know, it's very similar. So,
well, I mean,
Jason actually got me into that side of thing. And I've always kind of played drums as well. So I have kind of a natural approach to drums. So it's easy for me to sit down and kind of write them at the computer. Can I physically play death metal drums like that? No.
Yeah. I wish I could play some death metal drums, man. I can't even pick my nose without falling on my face. Like I do not have the coordination for that. I do have a big piano background though, but I don't play anymore. I wish that stuck.
That was something I always wished I had gotten into when I was younger, was piano, but I never did. It's so similar to guitar, you know?
Oh yeah.
It really is. So That's cool.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll fucking dust the keys off and get back into it. We'll see though. I am enjoying the guitar playing though. I've been playing for about 20 years probably.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, dicking around with my own sound. I was a big death metal player, but that's all gone by the wayside. I used to have a huge collection of like Jacksons, and like if there's a brand from Japan in the 80s called Westone. I had a bunch of those, but they all disappeared. And so, I never played those. I never played guitar. There was a period where I didn't, but there was a period where I was making good coin and I sort of bought these instruments back, but they were for the wrong reasons. I was trying to recapture something that I already had. And a good quote that I go by these days is never look for happiness where you lost it. And so I fucking bought all these things back, and like I was modding all these guitars, and I had the dual rack and like the carbon amps and stuff, and like I never fucking played them. But along the way, I bought a Taylor, which I did play. And since then, I've sold all the electric guitar stuff, save for one, and then went the way of acoustic guitar, and that's where it sort of stuck. And now I sort of like have like a pretty sweet Breedlove guitar, which was made in Oregon, and my tunes are kind of going that way now. So
that's awesome.
I'm not really sure where I was going with that rant, but here we are.
That's very cool. And Taylor, you mentioned Taylor, beautiful guitars they have. That's
man,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm a Taylor guy through and through. But if you guys do like your acoustics, I recommend trying out Breedlove.
Okay, yeah.
Breedlove.
I don't know if I'll remember it. You might have to shoot me a message afterward.
I'll definitely shoot you a message. They're excellent guitars, but bring money. Holy shit, they're not cheap. Yeah. Nice luthier built guitars. I wanted to ask you. So, okay, the only Mutilated Zombies stuff I'm familiar with is Scripts of Anguish. To my knowledge, you guys got 2 other albums out, or an album and an EP. I was going to break a rule of mine that I have, is like, I only like to, it's a limiting rule now that I think about it, but I only like to collect music that is physical format, typically CD. Okay. Sure. And I think that your guys' first 2 albums are only available on Bandcamp or something, digital download or something like that. And I was going to go buy the digital downloads, which would have been the first time I'd ever done that for a band, but I couldn't find them anymore. And I didn't want to spoil shit by going to YouTube and just sort of listening it for free on there. I would rather like give money for music and like put some shit in your guys' pockets. But I can't find, is there any way where myself or anyone who is a fan of Scripts find your older catalog and thereby give you their money?
in a physical sense, I mean, right now I don't even have copies of it. Jason's got them all. He's got them all right behind us here.
Oh, that's that shit right there.
Yeah, we have two older full lengths and an EP that we did before Scripts.
Dude, that's awesome.
I think the only one that's online for download still
would be Cymatics of
Death, which is our second full length album.
And Decimation.
And aside from Decimation. Or Decimation is on there still?
Yeah, it's on our Bandcamp.
Oh yeah, so our second full length and our EP and Scripts are the only 3 that are
out in the world. But as far as physical copies, like when we did our first CD that was titled Better Off a Corpse, I think we made like 100 physical CDs, and that was our idea of releasing music, was just physical CDs and selling them at shows. We weren't really doing shit online at that time. So a lot of those, once they sold out, we're like, oh, let's go worry about the next one. And now I look back on it and I wish I had physical copies of these things.
Sure.
And I don't anymore. We would have to literally get everything we have the files, so we could probably, go in and get CDs made, but it's just something we haven't done. So we got the couple on our Bandcamp. And I think Cymatics is free for download. We just want people to hear it,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I hear you for sure. I'll link up the Bandcamps to make sure people can find the stuff. And
absolutely.
Give you the money.
And don't even worry about paying. Just download that Scripts or Cymatics of Death and enjoy that fucker.
No, man, you guys worked hard on that shit. You take money. If you're just a donation thing or something like that, I'll definitely drop some cash in there for sure, man. I like to support the bands, and like, even though it's offered for free, like if I can slide you a fucking 20 or 50 for your hard work, like fucking that's the way to do it. And also on a note where you had said earlier that like you pressed like 100 of them and they got snapped up and they're no longer available, and like sort of leaving it like that is also very cool in my books too, because like it just goes for like the person who's got like number 1 of 100 being like, ha ha ha, I fucking, you know, I have this, right? And it's unique and it's all, and it's mine and fucking, and it's just, and like, it's very hard to get, if it even is possible to get down the road. It's something really, really cool to say. I go way out of my way to find stuff like that. I'm looking at a record collection of almost 1,000 right now, like CDs, and some of them like there's only 200 pressings, you know what I'm saying, of whatever. And not that I have like a pedestal on which I put these particular albums, but there is something really, there's just something. I'm a 90s child, man. I fucking collect physical things, and sometimes the hard to find things are like pretty dope to have. Back when I was in my mid-20s, I had produced a death metal album. This is related to the minimal pressing thing that you were talking about. Okay. And we printed like 1,000 of them. We had a huge deal where we just printed. We weren't signed. They weren't signed or anything like that. And so they went, did the album, did like a East Coast Music Awards tour, got nominated for like a tour, like an award kind of thing. And then the band sort of went tits up, and that was the end of that. They were very young. They were like 17, 18 years old at the time. Okay. And I have like a stack of like 100 of these, I think, in my closet right over there. And cool. I typically like mail these out to people who are interested in being death metal fans and finding stuff that like you really aren't going to fucking find this shit anywhere. If you're interested, I'll send you guys like a couple of CDs, one for you, and just listen to this shit. It's a pretty special fucking, like, this stuff came out of like 17 and 18-year-old kids in grade 11. And I couldn't believe this stuff actually existed. So and also like it's taking weight. So yeah, if you guys are interested, sure, I'll send it along.
That would be sweet, man. Always down for something like that. And I wanted to also say to you as well, I think you got me thinking now about our older albums, and I think, you know, it would be a good idea. We should get a couple more copies made of our back catalog. And when I do that, I will send you some.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, man. Okay,
make it happen. So
okay, well, you know, first things first. That's being a fan. That's a great idea. I look forward to hearing your new album shit, and I look forward to the represses whenever they should happen. But like one thing at a time. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. Get some new follow-up script stuff going on. Oh fuck, I can't wait for that. Did I ask this question already? Is it like a lateral step as per Scripts of Anguish? Like, is it more of a concept deal like I was talking about earlier? Is there a whole new can of worms going on with that particular thing?
There is kind of, once again, it was kind of like an unintentional concept, but there are some concepts. You know, there's a couple songs that go together. You know, right in the middle of the CD. The first track of the new album kind of prefaces the rest of the tracks, kind of deal. Yeah. So but it is all new stuff. Very kind of outside of the box in a way. You know, doing some stuff that we haven't necessarily done before. Yeah. So it will be a little different from Scripts, but I think it also is true to our sound. Yeah. So.
Great. Very well put, actually. Yeah, I again, like, I can't wait to listen to it. Is that off of Redefining Darkness still? You guys with the same distro?
We're absolutely hoping so. I actually talked to Thomas, the label owner. I talked to him last week, and you know, he seemed pretty excited about it. And he wanted to do a quick phone call, and I'm still kind of waiting to hear from him. So, but that's the plan as of now. I want to say it's projected to be ready in spring, summer of 2023.
Great.
So there is going to be a little wait time yet and get everything down. But that's what we're hoping for, is to go with Redefining again.
Dude, man, fucking,
they're great. So
yeah, oh yeah, their roster is fucking awesome, and like good shit is worth the wait. Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, guys, on that note, I'm super happy I got to sit down across from you guys. You seem like,
thank you so much for having us.
You seem like such like down to earth, real ass fucking people putting out some super killer shit. And you I gravitate towards that type of people and that type of style, and I really do. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. If you ever want to sit on my show again before the new album comes up, like, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you guys on again.
Oh yeah, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. You guys keep fucking banging that shit out, and I'll talk to you soon.
Will do. Cheers.
Right. Yeah, take care, boys.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Mutilated by Zombies coming out in a year? Yes, please. Mutilated by Zombies. Now that's a real-ass conversation with real people who put out real, genuine music. I'm a fan. I can't wait for the new stuff to come out. I can't wait for, hopefully, the re-release of their older catalog. I hope to see it on physical format. But until then, or if you can't wait, be sure to check out their Instagrams, the Facebooks, the Bandcamps. Their music is available on there. Do yourself a favor and buy yourself some of Mutilated by Zombies music. It is very, very good stuff, man. I promise. Really, really cool shit. To add to that, if radio jams are your thing, I host a live radio show from 3 to 5 p.m. EST over at www.metaldevastationradio.com. Similar to what you see on the Evisceradio YouTube channel, except instead of having bands sit on there, I'm just playing the music of these particular bands. It's a 2-hour fun time of me just horsing around on a microphone and playing some good goddamn metal. Yeah. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this particular sit down. Be sure to check out the back catalog. I've got Cryptosis, Vakenfeld, Fractal Generator, and there's more to come. A lot of really good content is coming this way. Be sure to keep your ear out or your eye down, you figure it out, of what's going on in Evisceradio land, because there is a bunch more cool content coming your way. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Yeah.
Evisceradio.